Hello everyone and welcome to the Motorpoint Arena here in Nottingham. You join us for the third and fourth place consolation final between the Fife Flyers and the Nottingham Panthers. This is the Predictabet Playoffs 2018. My name is Jonathan Fernley. Alongside me is Pete Spencer. The crowd are filtering into the rink. We have the Fife Flyers out on the ice. We're just waiting for the Nottingham Panthers. And this game always provides entertainment, it always provides goals. But Pete, it's the game that no team wants to play because it means you lost yesterday and your playoff dreams are over.
It certainly is. We were speaking to both sets of coaches yesterday. You can see both of them looking despondent on the benches. Neither of them wanted to play in this game. We saw some of the players as they were warming up in this game, looking at trick shots, double pad stack saves from the goalies, down low, flipping the puck over the top of the net, back down. I think we're going to see a really, it's essentially an exhibition game today. That's the feeling, that's what the crowd are expecting.
It's also a chance for the fans of the respective teams to say thank you to their teams. The Fife Flyers, Gardner Conference champions this season. A club with so much history, have another banner to add to the rafters up in Kirkcaldy. And for the Nottingham Panthers, it's a chance to say goodbye. The final game of two club legends. David Clark retires from hockey after today's game. And Corey Nielsen will be on the bench for his final game as the Panthers head coach. He's already had his shirt retired. It's a sad way for him to bow out, really, given how much success he's had with the Panthers, particularly in playoff finals. They've been so successful over the years under Corey Nielsen's stewardship. But I wonder if his team are going to put on a show for him one final time. Referees for today's game are Dean Smith and Stefan Hogarth. If it's like years past, I wouldn't imagine they're going to be too busy. This is the sort of game where, let them play. We'll now take a short pause as we hear both national anthems. Midday is a strange time to start a hockey game. There's a few fans in the rink who are nursing sore heads this morning. The pubs around Nottingham were packed full of hockey fans, well, all weekend really, Friday night and Saturday night. And we're getting ready now for the third place consolation final. Nottingham Panthers losing in overtime yesterday to the Sheffield Steelers, a match that they led by 2 goals on 2 separate occasions, 2-0 in the first and 4-2 in the third period, but they couldn't close it out, and John Armstrong scored the winning goal for Sheffield. For Fife, they had their chances in the first period, but they couldn't find a way past Ben Bounds, and Cardiff's debts told in the end, and the Devils ran out 4-0 winners. It's Fife's third visit to the finals weekend, and they are yet to win a game. They lost both games in 2014, they lost both in 2016. They're hoping to avoid a three-peat here today.
Jonathan, it's a good opportunity for some of the younger players to get some game time tonight. We can see in the Five Flyers net. Jordan Marr starting the game for them. And obviously Sam Gospel has been named as the backup for Nottingham. So as well as Jordan Kelsall as well, I expect him to get some game time for Nottingham tonight in front of a packed crowd here at the Motor Point.
Early touch for Josh Tetlow as well, huge defenseman for the Panthers. He didn't get any game time against the Sheffield Steelers yesterday, but he's straight out there tonight. One of the players, young British players that plays a different position, but the loss of David Clark next season leaves a hole that a Brit is going to have to fill. I wonder if Josh Tetlow might be the player who steps up and gets a little more ice time. Hopefully to see some of Jordan Kelsall as well. Here's Pither. He scored 2 yesterday and was massively impressive. That's the first shot just off target. But even so, coming into this game, the Panthers do have much more depth available to them. Mike Vasquevo, the only name missing from their lineup. They can only ice 2 of their 3 netminders. So Patrick Galbraith, who started yesterday, gets a seat in the stands this lunchtime. Michael Garnett, 35-year-old Canadian, getting the starting goal for Nottingham. He's not had anything to do inside the first minute other than field a puck in the corner. Here goes Mock Shanter. This is the sort of game when he can really show off. And we have our first offside call of the game. And that brings things to a halt. Remember, the Elite League Grand Final of the PredictorBet playoffs is live on the BBC from 3:40 p.m. today. That's when our coverage begins. You can watch via the BBC Sport website, the BBC Sport app, and connected TVs. Face off at 4 o'clock, but we'll be live at 3:40. It's a rematch of last season. The league champions Cardiff Devils taking on the reigning playoff champions Sheffield Steelers. Here come the Panthers, 2-on-1. Good save by Marr. That's an impressive stop. Marr got a lot of games at the end of the season with Andy Isles out injured. And he's continuing to grow as a young netminder.
Posted a very good save percentage in that final end of the season as well. We saw him play, I think, the game up in Sheffield as well, and put on a fantastic display, keeping Sheffield at bay for long periods of that game. And 89% save percentage, that's pretty good for a young netminder.
Had a 5-12 record this season, but he featured in 23 games, and that's always the biggest challenge for young British netminders. Where do you get your game time? Well, he spent last season playing in the Premier League with the Hull Pirates. He's had a bit of Elite League experience with the Edinburgh Capitals as well. You're always looking for netminders to establish themselves. We've seen good performances from Tom Murdy in Cardiff in relief of Ben Bounds. That's got him a spot in Pete Russell's GB squad as the third netminder behind Ben Bounds and Jackson Whistle. Phillips is whistled dead for offside. It was Pither who is too far advanced over on the far side.
As you say, Jonathan, it's probably the hardest position to get real kind of experience because of the kind of situational aspects of the game. Probably the easiest chance for players, young players, to be given an opportunity is that forward position. You can put them on the wing where they're not as defensively susceptible as other players might be. Even giving players time on the blue line is a bit of a risk in today's Elite League.
We saw yesterday Paul Thompson starting with a full 4 lines for the Sheffield Steelers and plenty of early shifts for young Cole Shudra, but he didn't ice at all in the second or third. And Cole Shudra has been with the Steelers for a couple of years now. He's part of the GB under-20 squad. He's quite an experienced young player as Garnett grabs that one out of the air and wants to keep the play alive. But when the pressure is on and the stakes are high, coaches are going to go with the more experienced players. You tend to feel that's how they're going to lean when the pressure is on. Who can they rely on in the big moments?
Yeah, you mentioned Cole there. He's still kind of finding his way in the game, really. He's been kind of trickled through that squad. We've seen other British forwards, for example, Liam Kirk and Kieran Brown, being given maybe a bit more of a chance, and actually some of those players have been outperforming some of the imports for the Steelers this year. So good to see British players like that getting an opportunity in the Elite League.
They've also been performing superbly well down, well, over in Estonia. The GB under-18s men's side won the gold medal yesterday. They beat South Korea by 4-3, but then they needed a favour from Estonia as they took on Poland, and they got it. Poland needed a regulation win. Estonia tied it up late. Although Poland won in overtime, that wasn't enough, and GB finished on 12 points, level with Lithuania, but they'd beaten Lithuania in group play, and they claimed the gold medal and promotion. Kirk and Brown were part of that. We should also mention Cade Nielsen, the son of Corey Nielsen, who was an exceptional performer. Goals and assists.
2 goals, 4 assists Cade Nielsen had during that whole tournament. We mentioned Kirk and Brown, 4 goals apiece for them. They had a fantastic tournament, and obviously Liam getting that game winner in that crucial matchup against Korea, that 4-3 win to give them the gold medal. And we should probably mention quite a number of NHL scouts, as they have been at the Sheffield Steelers.
Turnover, Pither, and it's a good glove save from Marr, tipping it around that near post. Icing has been waved off. The Panthers had a chance to play that at the red line and declined. Mason Biddulph, another star of that GB under-18 squad. Plenty of elite league coaches looking for young British talent will have liked what they've seen out of the GB 18s this week. Of course, they'll be playing at a higher level next year. The men's national team were promoted last spring after their tournament victory in Belfast. Their World Championships begins in Hungary soon. There's the opening goal, hammered in by Jeff Brown. He scored yesterday, and he scored again today.
A good strike from Jeff Brown there, just picking the glove side. Obviously identified that as maybe an area where they can get at Jordan Marr on that glove side, and what a finish in the top right-hand corner. You just see it here on the replay. Lovely no-look play, and then that finish from Jeff Brown, fantastic. Panthers getting the first goal after just over 4.5 minutes.
Takes Jeff Brown to 19 for the season. This is a great game, just to pad your stats a little bit. If you're looking for a goal bonus or an extra contract next year, or you want to impress your scouts and your agents, anytime you can reach a milestone, this is a good game to do it. Finucci shoots just over the top. Garnett in particular has got a 17-17 record in the Elite League this year. Always want to finish with a winning record, and there's a chance for him to do that here today. Fans of all 12 Elite League teams are here today, as they were yesterday. The newly expanded Elite League. Milton Keynes may have finished down in 11th place, but they took some scalps of the big boys. Beat Sheffield twice at home. They won away in Belfast, memorably, to really put a dent in the Giants' title ambitions. Of course, the Guildford Flames finishing in 7th place and giving the Steelers a real scare in the playoff quarter-finals, indeed winning the second leg. Not enough on aggregate to take them through. The league's 2 new boys have been great additions this season, and their fans have been here in good number. Of course, Milton Keynes know what it's like to win playoffs. They won plenty during their EPL days. No way through the traffic for Stockton. And Garnett yet to be really tested so far in this opening 6 minutes. Here's Dan Spang. Puck will come out of the corner. There might be a tight angle there, but not quite for Betteridge. This one will deflect to the near side corner. Here is Spang again. Oh, he tried to bank it in off the side of the netminder. So the Panthers taking a lot of what we'd think of bad angle shots yesterday, but it's purely to get that rebound off the netminder. Billingsley sends it goalwards, and once again, Marr is there with the glove.
Yeah, yesterday, Nottingham Panthers were looking for those rebounds off the pads. They got them off Mustakovs early on in those first 2 periods, and then he just tightened up that rebound control, denying those second chance opportunities, and the defenseman clearing the danger. Nottingham employing a similar strategy here today to try and get those rebounds off young Jordan Marr.
Clangus has arrived, the Brayhead Clan mascot, dancing away during that little intermission. Always gets the crowd going. Brings the Brayhead fans into good voice. Strangely, very popular amongst the Manchester fans as well. He's Clangus is all the mascots around the league do a fantastic job, but Clangus has a terrific reputation and well deserved. Shaber centralises it. Oh, Jorgensen! We've got ourselves a leveller. Chance from the slot and slapped in beyond the glove hand of Garnett. And the Flyers have their first goal of the weekend.
A nice assist from Shaber, getting it through, and it's a fantastic finish from Jim Jorgensen. And Fife will be delighted. They were unlucky yesterday not to get on the scoreboard, and getting their first one of the weekend here today.
6 on the season for Jim Jorgensen. He is a playoff champion. He won here in 2015 with the Coventry Blaze when they won that final against Sheffield. Upset the odds, went 4-0 up, won it 4-2. He was part of that victorious Blaze side. And now here's Finucci, who was so impressive in the early part of yesterday's first semi-final. I wonder if this might just be the start of the game really opening up. Pither, oh, lovely tip. It was a great pass in front. And you just know that the Panthers are going to feed David Clark today as much as possible. He's got 370 career Elite League goals. He probably doesn't need any more, but he wants one more, and the fans want one more, and the team will want one more from him to sign off in real style.
And if he hasn't got one by the latter stages of the game, you'll see David Clark out there for every shift, getting every opportunity. We saw there again, another tip out in front for David Clark. If he hasn't got a goal, the Nottingham players are going to do everything in their power to try and get one for him in his final game for Nottingham. You mentioned over 300 goals for him, over 600 Elite League games. It's a fantastic record. He's been a fantastic servant over the last 14 years for the Nottingham Panthers. Always a thorn in the side of the Sheffield Steelers. The amount of games that he's popped up in, and a goal from David Clark has turned the tide for Nottingham. It says something when your bitterest rival is happy to see you retire, and I think that's what a lot of the players and coaching staff at the Sheffield Steelers will be glad to see the back of David Clark. But fantastic, not only for Nottingham as well, fantastic for GB. It's nice for him to finish with a gold medal as well. A couple of silvers and a bronze as well for David Clark.
92 games he's played for Great Britain. This will be his final game. He's not going to be part of the GB squad that travels to Hungary in a couple of weeks' time. They've got friendlies coming up against Lithuania next weekend. But he's retiring from all hockey today. David Clark has led the Elite League in goals by a British player 7 times. And you consider the other great British scorers, such as Robert Dowd and Colin Shields, who he's got to compete with. To lead that list 7 times is quite an achievement. Oh, good save by Marr, reaching out. He had a real crowd in front of him.
Lovely tip out in front from Jeff Brown as well, just trying to get that redirect to try and get it past Marr.
Here's Dan Coryell trying to go around Spang. Didn't quite get enough stick on it. And we want to keep the play alive. Very nearly was costly for the Nottingham Panthers, but Jorgensen able to step up and reach it, but not do too much more with it.
Yeah, we've seen Mike Garnett a couple of times trying to keep that play alive, trying to keep this, keep the clock ticking, get this game flowing. Sauvé's got it by the half-boards.
Inside to Bussiers, it's poked away from him, and Shaber has got Finucci out to the right wing. Finucci trying to get it back across towards Jorgensen, who's trying to get involved with the player with every chance he can. Pass comes right up, and it's out of the zone. The Flyers will have to leave the offensive zone and reset. Finucci takes it well. Inside, one-timer. Oh, it was not a good contact from Mosey, and the puck kind of popped up and went over the crossbar. Just going back to David Clark, I won't name the player who said it, but a few years ago, someone told me, I hate every single player with a passion in that Nottingham Panthers side. Apart from David Clark, he's lovely. And it just shows that, you know, there is a real rivalry between Sheffield and Nottingham, but it doesn't count for David Clark because He's such a great bloke.
He is, on and off the ice. Great bloke to deal with. Always giving of his time as well. We saw during the broadcast yesterday he was happy to give up his time to have a chat between periods as well. Always found him a pleasure to deal with.
We're past the halfway point of the first period of this third, fourth place game. And here's young Jordan Kelsall. Got himself a couple of goals on the season. Ice time was limited by injury for long parts. He was expected to miss the remainder of the season, but young body has recovered quickly. It's great to see him back out on the ice in Panthers colours. Fife coming forward, looking to take the lead. Attack kind of fizzles out. Gagnon just settles things down at the back for the Panthers. Still feel that this game has an explosion of goals waiting for it. Since they brought the third and fourth place game back to the Elite League, the lowest scoreline we've had in this fixture was a 6-0 victory for Cardiff against Fife. We've had an 8-6, we've had an 11-5, we've had a couple of other double-figure scorelines. Shaber dangles, but his shot gets deflected over the top. Big Tetlow in the corner. And the puck will come out of the zone. Fife have to be careful. Moyer's got a couple for company and numbers will win for the Panthers, but good back checking from Shaber. Oh, turnover opportunity here. Pellini, one of the Panthers' most dangerous scorers. Oh, and he can't get a pass across.
Good recovery from Brown just inside the face-off circle.
Here's Mosey. Out to Brown. Can he score again? He can't. Pellini might. Oh, good block in front. Combination of defenseman and netminder. It was Moyer and it was Marr, and it denied Brown another goal. Mosey's shot, and that one's off the blocker of Marr and safely to the corner. Pellini, 22 goals this season. His dad played for both of these clubs with distinction, played with Nottingham and with Fife. He lost a playoff final with Fife way back in 1988. Delayed offside on the Panthers. That's been cleared now. Possession with the Flyers, looking for the long pass down the ice. Oh, and it very nearly hit Finucci. Netminder left his crease, so icing waved off.
The game just becoming a little bit more stretched now as Nottingham skating, looking for their second.
Bussières back to Sauvé. Hammered the pass across to Farmer. What a pass from Robert Farmer. That was the pass of the weekend to Luke Pither for the second Panthers goal yesterday. Highlights are on the Elite League Facebook page, well worth checking out. He gives the puck away, but he fights, gets it back, and then sends a laser down the ice. Bussières' shot is deflected, out of play. It came off the stick of Bersins, and will be a face-off in the offensive zone.
At the end of the game yesterday, Jonathan, we were talking to Todd Dutiem and mentioning about how proud he was of what this group of players have achieved. We also mentioned that they have the building blocks in place if they can just retain a couple of the guys that they've got in their squad. And Carlo Finucci seems to be one of those players that if they can maybe keep hold of him, maybe a couple of other players. Yannick Gaultier as well, only 26, he's a young player. How many of these players do you think they have to keep hold of to replicate and kind of kick on from what they've been doing, really?
Well, there'll be a lot of interest, I imagine, for some of these Five players from around the Elite League. Forwards have put up really good numbers. Evan Bludoff is missing this weekend, but he scored 32 goals. Finucci's got himself 32, Chase Shaber 34, Gaultier 30. They're a high-powered offense. Even looking at, you know, LeBlanc, best part of 70 points. Liam Healis has got 70 points. If you're looking for offensive talent, there are players here that you might want, but you know that Todd Dutiem and Jeff Hutchins won't want to give them up. There were a few Fife fans over the summer who were a little worried that recruitment was taking a long time, but patience really paid off, and that's a nice glove save from Michael Garnett. Oh, and the first little bit of pushing and shoving. And
Liam Healis, I think, involved for
yeah.
the Fife Flyers.
Oh, and Clark isn't happy, and words are being exchanged. And
Delego, it is for Nottingham, having words.
Fans weren't expecting to see this in the third place game. Normally played in the very best of spirits, but I think deep down there's a real desire with the Panthers to win this game and give Clark and Nielsen the send-off that they deserve, or that they feel that they deserve at least. Fife couldn't care less, they want to win.
Just seen Liam Healis go off the back of the Nottingham bench. He's just in that kind of corridor section. Not sure if there's any kind of concern there. Medical staff are just going out, seeing what they can do to maybe get him back on the ice. Keep an eye on that for you.
The mascot dance-off is in full swing. Scorch of the Blaze is giving it his very best. Delego through to Billingsley, played it across, or well broken up by Muir. This Fife team is packed full of local youngsters. The youth programme up in Kirkcaldy has provided a lot of good players over the years, and a lot of the British players that fill out this Fife Flyers squad have come through that programme. Here's Delego, the angle is tight, he'll take it round the back of the net, out into the crease and swept home by Pither. Nicely made, and a simple finish from close range.
Luke Pither's third of the weekend. Good finish from him out in front.
It was Delego who made it. He faked to the inside, and then rather than the wraparound, played it across. If you fake the wraparound, it draws the keeper towards that right-hand post on the far side, which then means the left-hand side of the goal, from a keeper's perspective, is free, and that's where Luke Pither slotted it into.
See a lot of netminders trying to spread the pads on the wraparound. Just Jordan Marr just couldn't quite squeeze out that right leg just to kind of cover that bottom part of the goal.
So the Panthers back in front, 2-1, although they've given it away here, and they very nearly lifted it beyond Garnett.
Side netting for the Flyers, but they retain the puck.
Stockton, oh, he tried to fire it back post, and it was broken up by the skates of Pellini. And now here goes Mosey. Great sight when he's in full flight, probably the fastest skater in the Elite League. Be part of that GB team in the World Championships. Finucci drops it back. Stockton angles tight, and he's wrapped it off the post. And now here comes Brown. Can the Panthers make the Flyers really pay? Well, they can't get it through to Mokshantsev.
It's a fantastic opportunity. Fantastic release there from Stockton, rattling the frame of the goal.
Only played in 14 games last season. A much better time of it this season. Reached the 50-point mark. It's his best point season as a professional. 29-year-old American. Oh, and Berzins is going to the bench, and he didn't realise the pass was coming his way. Bussières for the Panthers. Across for Lee. Panthers captain plays it out. Backhand! Oh, that's nice. That's really nice from Zach Phillips.
Well, that real goal there from Zach Phillips. His 19th of the season. And another strike for the Canadian. So the Panthers lead 3-1 over the Fife Flyers, as we see Stephen Lee looked like he was going to take the shot to Zach Phillips backhanded, and that's the top corner. We see the water bottle go in the air, and Nottingham are 3-1 up.
Never even turned around and looked to see where the netminder and the goal was. The great goal scorers know where the goal is. They don't need to be looking the right way. That was a pretty finish for Zach Phillips. We know he's got talent. He was a first-round draft pick in the NHL. Back in 2011, Minnesota picked him up. A couple of other players from that draft will be familiar to Elite League fans. Josh Schaller, who started the season with the Panthers, scored some big goals in their CHL campaign, and Darian Dazinski, who was with Manchester Storm last season, also went in that 2011 draft. High hopes that the draft coming up next month in the NHL might see GB youngster Liam Kirk selected. Scouts have been following his progress all year. Shaber. Moyer. Nicely fed across. Oh, and it was just mishandled by Shaber. But Fife keep the puck and then shoot wide. Finucci is off target. Sauve sends it around. The referee ducking out of the way. Finucci again loves to drive and lead his team forward. He goes to the net, he's wanting a tip. They go backdoor instead to Stockton, and it was broken up. Really good defensive play by DeLego. Back checked hard and got his stick in the way. Here's David Clark. Crowd expects. Oh, he tried to feed it in front for a deflection, and in the end it got blocked. Flyers in the offensive zone again. They're looking for that pass to the back door, and Garnett recognised it and skated out to play it with his stick. That's alert net minding. He's got NHL and KHL experience, the top leagues in North America and Russia respectively. And he started the season so well for Nottingham, but it just kind of faded away around Christmas, and Panthers picked up Danish netminder Patrick Galbraith, and he earned the start in the playoffs.
Interesting that Nottingham were one of the few teams in the Elite League to go with 2 import netminders. We thought that might become a bit of a trend for some teams. But speaking to, for example, Paul Thompson and some of the other coaches around the league, very keen, a lot of them, just to stick with the 1 import, not willing to give up the extra import forward or the extra import defenseman.
The flip side of that, of course, is that the league champions, Cardiff Devils, as they have been for the last 2 years, have 2 British netminders in Bounds and Murdy, and this season's Challenge Cup winners. If we hold on for a moment as that shot from Shaber is deflected away, the Challenge Cup winners, Belfast Giants, also 2 British netminders in Jackson Whistle and Stephen Murphy. But they did bring in Chris Truell after Stephen Murphy got injured earlier in the year. That brings to an end a first period which has seen 4 goals. Jeff Brown opened the scoring for Nottingham. There was an equaliser from Jim Jorgensen for the Flyers, but then Luke Pither and Zach Phillips have extended the Panthers' advantage to 3 goals to 1. So the players make their way off the ice. We're going to take a short break on commentary. We'll be back with you in a little over 15 minutes' time for the second period of this 3rd place playoff here in the 2018 Elite League Predictabet playoffs. At the end of 20 minutes, the Panthers lead the Flyers by 3 goals to 1. A goal to sign off his career in fine style. It's not quite the fairy tale ending this weekend that the Panthers were hoping for David Clark and coach Corey Nielsen, but sometimes life is never quite perfect. Here's Shaber for the Flyers, trying to go around Tetlow. Puck on the backhand. Still he goes. Back to the blue line. Options are limited, and they'll send it straight back around the perimeter. Mosey is there. And operating as a D-man, he can play equally well as forward or defence. Choose to use Lindhagen as a forward and Mosey as D. Clark turns away from goal and drops the pass off. Pither, what an excellent weekend he's had. Clark moved into the slot, but the Panthers weren't able to get the puck to him in time, and Clark heads to the bench. His shift is over. Brown thought about the one-timer, decided against it, plays it down low. There's a chance for Mokshantsev, and what a really good glove stop. We've seen a few of those from Mar already in this game, and that's his first big one of the second period.
That was an excellent pass there from Jeff Brown. Just took all the pace off it there and found Mokshantsev in the high slot. Pity he couldn't finish it. That would have been a lovely assist. As we see again here, just taking the pace off it, finding Mokshantsev. Little deke around the defenseman, but a good save there from Jordan Marr.
Mokhchansev again, this one gets blocked. Scored some of the prettiest goals of the season, Alexander Mokhchansev. Indeed, one of his goals in the Champions League was a goal of the tournament nominee, and quite rightly too. His goal after 47 seconds yesterday against Sheffield, not his prettiest. Oh, he was thinking about doing the lacrosse style goal. He tried to set it up. That would have been something.
He's certainly got that in his locker.
Oh, I'd love to see him have another go at that and get it right. Here's Finucci. Save made by Garnett. It'll come back to Finucci. He'll get another chance. He drops the pass off. Oh, and it's a good block. It denies Mosey.
Good initial shot from Finucci. And
Stockton, another chance. It's there. Stockton has scored. We're back to 3-2. And persistence plays for the Flyers in front.
Good to see Fife coming back strong. Getting on the score sheet for a second time with Shane Stockton.
He had several whacks at it. One and then two and then finally up and beyond Garnett.
Garnett did his best just to get the poke check in there, but didn't quite get enough on it. There's a few more smiles now on that Fife Flyers bench. Nottingham 3, 5-2.
The Flyers fans, obviously there's a disappointment yesterday, but they recognise that in the Cardiff Devils they've lost to, you know, a terrific team. The Devils are pretty much a dynasty in this league at the moment with the strength that they've had. The goal is announced as being Carlo Finucci's. That's definitely not correct. They will give the assist instead to Finucci and to Charlie Mosey. Definitely Stockton's goal. Can the Farmer get himself a goal? No, he's going to turn away. Back to Phillips, lost it between his legs. Farmer recovers. Here's Lindhagen. Farmer. And another save with the glove from Marr. That's been an impressive part of the Scottish stoppers play this season. But yeah, the Flyers fans yesterday, you see them around, they'd all got smiles on their faces. You know, they've got over that defeat quickly because they have that conference title in the bag. And whilst they're always hoping to win, I think deep down many of them probably didn't necessarily expect to beat Cardiff. Billingsley shoots off target. They came here determined to enjoy the weekend and recognise the season that their team has had. And they've got themselves a couple of goals here to cheer in this one, but they trail by 3-2. There's still such a long way to go, and you're sure there's going to be many more goals left in this game.
I think a lot of the Fife fans as well would have recognised that the real kind of get-out-of-jail card was Manchester last week when they were so far behind, bringing it back to that game and a fantastic finish. You could see the celebrations that were doing the rounds after the game. What a fantastic result for that. That was almost celebrated like it was winning a playoff title, just getting to this weekend.
They lost the home leg of the quarter-final by 4-1. They won the away leg 4-1, so it went to sudden death overtime. And Carlo Finucci scored the goal. There's some great fan footage from in the Fife section and from in the Manchester section as well, where you can see the reaction of the home supporters. Well worth searching out if you haven't yet seen it via Twitter or YouTube. Now that one is going to be whistled dead for icing. Yet again, it's Scorch, the Coventry Blaze mascot, who's trying to lead the chants. Made his way over to the Sheffield Steelers supporters section. Try and get them a bit more into the game. Usually in the semi-finals on the Saturday, the fans of the teams who aren't here normally have a rooting interest. You always make a few friends and enemies throughout an Elite League season. But it's a bit more relaxed during the third place game. Flyers searching for an equaliser. Backhand attempt. Oh, it wasn't a bad try from Finucci. And it required the pad save from Garnett. And now Pither comes forward. Clark goes towards the net. Save made. Rebound. Mosey. Oh, well done, Marr, to get back to it. Bit of a stick from Berzins in there as well.
Yeah, Mosey just couldn't go first time on that. If he had, I think he had half of the net to aim at. A good recovery from Fife.
Ricard Berzins has set himself a career high in points this season with the Flyers. He's been a bit of a journeyman so far, the Latvian. He spent time in the Elite League with Manchester. He's been playing in France and in Italy and Norway, Belarus, Kazakhstan, and over in North America as well in the ECHL.
A
really impressive season. Good poke check from Lee. He provided a good assist for that Zach Phillips goal in the first period. Here's Mokshansev. Between the legs pass. Brown across. One-timer. Oh, off target.
That's a lovely bit of setup from Mokshansev. Little dump pass to Brown. And the awareness from Jeff Brown just to pick out backdoor.
Coriel trying to feed it across. Oh, great extension of the pad to cut out the cross-crease feed. That's really good from Garnett. It won't get registered as a save because it's not on target, but it prevents a certain goal.
And that's a half splits there from Michael Garnett. We just see again Fife looking to set up. Just look at that extension.
It's a tap in for LeBlanc if the puck gets through.
That's what you do your stretching exercises before the game for.
We talk about professional sportsmen being great athletes. The flexibility of a modern day ice hockey netminder really is something to behold. Isaacs. Will come back out. LeBlanc, he'll get his chance this time, but it was deflected away off the stick of Lindhagen. Maybe he wanted a little bit too much time to get that shot away.
Just trying to pick his spot, wasn't he, as it came out in front.
Backhand attempt from Healis, and that's into the body of Garnett. Fife just up their levels a little bit in this second period. But the team on top right now.
Since that second goal, they've got a bit of extra confidence, playing with a couple of extra smiles on their faces, starting to relax into the game. And a couple more opportunities coming their way. The backhanded attempt there from Healis. Just couldn't quite squeeze it where he wanted to on Mike Garnett.
Michael Garnett had a shutout against Turku in the Champions Hockey League as the Panthers became the first British team to win on the road and win the group. Meanwhile, here's Betteridge on a breakaway. Ollie Betteridge! Ah, I like that finish. 4-2 Panthers. Betteridge has got himself on the board.
Fantastic finish there from Ollie Betteridge. That'll do his confidence the world of good. Scores his 6th goal of the season for the Nottingham Panthers, and that's certainly one to add to the highlight reel. Managed to pick the defenseman's pocket. And that's a great finish there from Ollie Betteridge. And Sam Gospel with his helmet on, all padded up on the Panthers bench. Could we be seeing him shortly as we approach the midpoint of the game?
Chance for Clark. Oh, he's off target. Change of netminders during the game, during the shift. How about that for a line change? Garnett off and Gospel on with the puck still in play. I've not seen that, and Garnett is loving it down on the bench.
And that was a real turn of pace there from Michael Garnett. I think that's probably the fastest he's moved all season.
Here's David Clark. Come on, David, make it happen. Big cheer for Sam Gospel. Spent his time with the Panthers and with the Nottingham Lions and a game with the Hull Pirates in the NIHL. Also played memorably one game for the Sheffield Steelers on an emergency loan. It was the Challenge Cup semi-final second leg. The Steelers were facing a first leg deficit and having to come here to Nottingham with an emergency goalie, and the Steelers took the tie all the way to a shootout, and Gospel saved every shot as the Steelers won that shootout 1-0 and progressed to the Challenge Cup final. So although it's very much a Nottingham netminder, is probably his biggest career moment has come with the Sheffield Steelers.
It was a fantastic win for the Sheffield Steelers during that game. I think it was an 8-7 win in the end after the penalty shots and 3 saves. Do you remember who got the game-winning goal for the Sheffield Steelers in the penalty shoot?
Thomas Petrushka. So we're just having our little commentary stat off here. Meanwhile, there's icing called against Nottingham. The play will come all the way back down. But Gospel this season had one of the more incredible net-minding performances. Nottingham Lions playing in Hull. He was in goal for Nottingham, and he made 78 saves on 87 shots. They lost 9-0, but I can't recall a netminder ever having to make as many as 78, or making as many as 78 saves in a game.
Certainly a one-sided game.
So when you send your netminder down to the NAHL for a bit of conditioning and a bit of game time, he's certainly got a good workout that night. Panthers leading by 4 goals to 2. In the middle of talking about the Panthers' CHL campaign, mentioned the shutout win here. They won home and away against Mountfield. They also beat Byrne memorably, finished top of their group.
Lovely stick handling there as Nottingham drive towards the net again.
Say they won their group, made it to the last 16. They were knocked out by powerhouses Zurich Lions. Cardiff Devils will be back in the Champions Hockey League next season. The Continental Cup place, well, that'll go to the Sheffield Steelers if they were to win the playoffs. That's who gets the Continental Cup place these days. However, if Cardiff win it, they can't take part in the Continental Cup. They're already in the Champions Hockey League. So that place goes to the next placed league team, which would be the Manchester Storm. So if you're a Storm fan, you might want to cheer for the Cardiff Devils, or if you don't want your team to have the extra travel and fixture commitment, which I know the Steelers, although they wanted to be a part of it, they really didn't enjoy the trips on the road. It's expensive, it's often a long way, and the injuries that the Steelers picked up from those games might feel that really impacted on the Steelers' title campaign. But Steelers did make the super final. They just weren't quite able to get the job done in those final few games, but it's a great experience for the fans that do get to travel away to these European adventures, whether it's in the CHL or the Continental Cup. I bet there are a few Manchester fans who are just hoping that Cardiff win and then checking the bank accounts and seeing whereabouts in Europe they might be off to next season if the Devils are able to do the double, or the treble actually I should say. Have they won the Earhart Conference as well?
I think those trips are always fantastic for the players as well, when it's a time for them to get away as a team for a week, maybe kind of 10 days, depending on how long the club are able to take them away for. And it's a bonding experience, and especially if it happens early on in the season, as we've seen with the CHL campaigns, they tend to take place early in the season, kind of September, October. For a lot of the players kind of coming in, it's an opportunity to really kind of get to know your teammates and have that shared bonding experience.
Device time for Sean Beattie in the 18 shirt. Turnover here. Chance, slap shot. Oh, good kick save. Look at that out on the left part of Gospel.
I think the shot might have just been going wide, but Gospel wasn't to know that and stuck out a fantastic leg to deny him.
Look at the smile on his face. He loved that one.
Here we see it again as puck's given away. Lovely save there from Sam Gospel.
So we passed the halfway mark. 6 goals in the game so far. Usually get plenty more than that in these third place games. Here's Pither. Oh, that one's right off the face. Straight into the mask of Jordan Marr. Just check everything is okay. It looks as though it is. I hope it is.
Maybe an extra dent to add to the collection that he's amassed over the season.
One thing hockey players or hockey netminders do is tend to like to decorate their masks. Get a chance to see Ben Bounds, who's got his dogs on his mask. Irvin Mustikov's has got his wife and his cats on his. Netminders are their own special breed. And Bounds has Gavin and Stacey as well on his. Oh, that's a nice tip in from DeLego. Great little touch. And the Panthers are 3 in front at 5-2.
Canadians got 28 on the season now. Nice to add an extra one at the playoffs.
Assist for David Clark in his final game, but it's DeLego with the touch. And 31-02 the time of the Panthers' 5th goal. And you'll notice now that with every extra goal that scores, some fans who may have chosen to have a bet on the game, it's not always easy to bet who's going to win these third place games, but you know there's going to be a lot of goals. And anyone who bets on over 6 goals is, or 6.5 goals is celebrating now. If there's another one, that'll get another extra cheer from the crowd of the different betting websites offering the odds on these games. DeLego assisted Clark and Pither. The call on the goal is Mokshansev looking for a tip. Oh, and Polini got it, and Marr helped it over the crossbar.
And a delightful pass there from Mokshansev, trying to find Perlini. Fife just doing enough at that point.
Hard work from Brown down on the boards on the far side, but ultimately loses out to Coryell. Panthers do retain it though. Here's big Josh Tetlow, firing it towards the crease and then just helped back to the netminder nice and calmly by Coryell and covered up by Marr. Yeah, there's some really good net-minding masks around the league. It's worth checking out if you can see some of the galleries, the NHL netminders as well, always producing some unique designs. Usually get a different one every season. Although when Irvin Mustakovs first joined the Steelers back in the 2010-11 season, he went for an all-black helmet, all-black pads, all-black glove and all-black blocker. But his stick had some white writing on, so he got a marker pen and filled it in. And went for the all dark look.
As you said, netminders are a funny breed sometimes, aren't they?
They do things differently to the rest of their teammates, but they have a very different job. Here's an opportunity. Oh, Bussiers, that's another one that Marr saves away with his head. Certainly sounded like it clanked back off the helmet. Play not immediately whistled dead, so we'll continue on here. Out to Phillips. Oh, it's in and out. And the goal counts for Zach Phillips. Took the fans a while to realise it. It hit the stanchion at the back. It didn't really ripple the net too much. But it's the second of the game for Zach Phillips. And the Panthers are starting to pull away. They're 6-2 in front.
Another beautiful strike there from Zach Phillips, as you said, Jonathan, his second of the game. So we just see the pass come back here. In and out, off the stanchion. Knocks the water bottle over as well, and Nottingham 6-2 to the good.
The fans at that end of the rink saw it go in and they cheered. The Panthers fans and neutral fans away to our right-hand side. A little slower to realise that that had gone in. 21 and 91 get the assists, Sauvé and Bussiers. Here goes Betteridge, he's already a scorer in this game. Lakovic. Going to play it back out towards Kelsall. Stockton with good defensive work. Jorgensen trying to help out. Lakovic is always persistent. Lakovic has got it. Plays it out. DeLego over the top. Took a deflection. Came off the leg of Berzins, I believe. And we'll have a restart in the Panthers' offensive zone.
David Clark back out there with the offensive zone face-off to come. Just at the top of the hash marks there for Nottingham, closest to the goal. And they win the draw.
Spang across, it was on Tetlow a bit quick for the one-timer. Here is Clark. And there's Clark. Will he think about the shot? He will, and it's into the glove. A lot of Panthers fans hoping for a fairy tale ending, but as I saw someone tweet yesterday, if you lose your shoe at midnight, it's not a fairy tale, you're drunk. Sport doesn't always have the perfect script. The Panthers will certainly be hoping they're able to certainly maintain this lead, if not build on it a little further, and give Corey Nielsen a winning send-off.
There's definitely more goals in this game, Jonathan.
There's certainly a few fans who'll be hoping so. Isaacs with the shot, deflection. Oh, good save by Gospel. The screen right in front of him, and here comes Pither, and now DeLego. DeLego moves inside, trying to stick handle. It's knocked away by Combination of Isaacs and Wands. Spang, backdoor for Clark. Oh, he didn't get enough stick on it. He's positioning himself at the top of the crease. They're trying to get it back to him. But Fife know that's what they're trying to do. And they had plenty of sticks in the way to prevent that little pass out.
Delego being a lot more direct over the last couple of shifts. Out there with David Clark as well, just trying to get it back to him.
Oh, Mokshantsev. Can he get the puck? Oh, he can't. It just got a little too far away from him. And the covering of Russ Moyer, who's had a wonderful season up in Fife. It's his first finals weekend as Helis draws a pad save from Gospel. Won the league with Sheffield a couple of years ago, but they were knocked out in the quarter-final stage by Coventry that year, who went on to play in the final, but lose out to Corey Nielsen and the Panthers. Oh, turnover. Brown has got onto that one. And then the recovery and poking it away. Here come the Flyers. Moved inside. Oh, the angle was tight, but Shaber got the shot away and drew the save from Gospel.
Russ Moore is that kind of player for Fife that maybe they needed a bit more of, an experienced player, someone that's played in the Elite League before, someone that's played in Denmark, Sweden, played in the CHL as well. So that's another chance there for Perlini.
35 years old now, Russ Moyer. Wonder if he's got another season left in him. Certainly looks like it. I don't think the legs have gone at all. Perlini trying to get onto this one, pokes it past, and it's just beyond the far post.
Just couldn't get the extra touch to turn it home.
Here's Tetlow. Sent towards goal. It nearly got a tip, and it needed a save from Mark. Panthers stretch to keep it in the zone. Good reach by Farmer. Panthers are changing lines, though, so there's time for the Flyers to work this out from behind their own goal. Muir with the bounce pass across. It finds Finucci. The Flyers have got 4 forward in this break, and it's another save. Been a busy netminder, Gospel, since he took over mid-shift from Michael Garnett.
Fife breaking forward in good numbers on that last shift, but an opportunity here if they can use it right.
Berzins, the defenseman, leads the charge, and the glove save is made. It'll come back out to Mosey. Charlie Mosey round the back of the net. Panthers players chasing after him. Stockton gets his stick onto it. Might come through to Finucci. And the Panthers just about break the play up. The game has just opened up a little bit again. Stockton kept it in. Wide open in front. Nice drop pass. What a stop, Gospel. Oh, best of the game to deny Mosey.
Off balance as he made that one. And Sam will be happy with that one.
No doubt about it.
You can hear what the crowd think of it.
Absolutely. 2 players alone in front. They played the drop pass. And the reflexes and reactions, outstanding.
Nottingham thought they just cleared the zone, but Fife were able to hold it back in with the glove.
Oh, they don't clear the zone here. Fife. Solvay! He's visited Pipe City. That one's come crashing back off the post. Here's Betteridge. Fife try and take the aerial route out of the zone. They won't manage it. Spang's there to defend the blue line, and here's Kelsall. Tries to get it across for Betteridge. It's broken up. Here comes Finucci. Solo charge. Oh, and he's gone off the pipe as well. One at each end. First time that Gospel's been beaten, and the left-hand post comes to his rescue. Here's Spang. Good save with the stick of Mark. Helis. Coryell trails. It'll come back. This might be the chance. Gospel's there again.
Another fantastic
read the play
save.
Superbly off the redirect. And Dan Spang has left the puck behind. Delayed offside. Here's LeBlanc. Trying to get it across towards Wands. Won't give up the chase. Well, Spang will reach it first. We're inside the final 2 minutes of this second period. Here's David Clark. Oh, he tried to play the pass. He'll get it back. Delego tries to feed it across the crease. Plenty of Flyers in the way.
Still not quite coming for David Clark. He's getting opportunities, but not able to finish on one yet.
Well, he could have taken the shot there. He was unselfish to try and play the pass, really. Helis. Helis drives around Tetlow. Goes around the net. Plays it out front. Oh, and the shot from Shaber gets deflected over the crossbar. Flyers have made good use of their bench in this second period, being in the offensive zone. They've been able to get players off the bench unseen into the offensive zone and create a couple of odd number breaks. Here goes David Clark, the crowd rises. Gagnon trails the play. Fife trying to pinch it at the blue line, they do just about. Moyer assessing his options. Out towards Shaber, his touch wasn't quite as instant as he would have liked.
There's enough to hold on to it though.
Just about, yeah, and they're into the offensive zone. Final 30 seconds, trying to get back towards Shaber. He's crowded out. Still with the Flyers though, down below the end line. Oh, waved at in the air by Beattie. Another of the Kirkcaldy kids in this Fife lineup. Not really a kid anymore, he's been around the Elite League a long time. 5 seasons in Edinburgh. And moving across to Fife, does have himself a few Elite League goals as well. Sean Beattie. As the period comes to an end. Nottingham led by 3-1 at the end of the first period. And they've had another 3-1 period in the middle 20 minutes. They've extended the scoreline to 6-2 here in the Predictabet playoffs, 3rd, 4th place game. Rick Strachan just about cracked a smile. Corey, not so much. I'm sure there'll be one to come at the end of the game though. Well, the players have made their way off the ice and we're going to take a short break here on commentary as well. We'll be back with you in around about 15 or so minutes time for the 3rd period. At the end of 40 minutes, Nottingham lead Fife by 6 goals to 2. Welcome back inside the Motorpoint Arena here in Nottingham. The Predictabet playoffs 2018. This is the 3rd, 4th place consolation final between the Nottingham Panthers and the Fife Flyers. We're getting ready for the final 20 minutes. The Nottingham Panthers leading by 6 goals to 2 as they try and give David Clark and coach Corey Nielsen a winning send-off. It was 3-1 in the first period, 3-1 in the second period. Fife are sticking with Jordan Marr in goal. Panthers made a change in the middle of a shift during the second period. Michael Garnett got the start. Sam Gospel has taken over and he's made some really impressive saves. Panthers had 15 shots in the second period. Fife managed 13. There's still plenty more goals left in this game, you feel. Jonathan Fernley here with you on commentary. Final 20 minutes of the season for these two teams. No surprise that David Clark is out there. And you know the Panthers are going to set him up at every possible opportunity so that he can sign off his wonderful career with one more goal. At least one more goal. First face-off comes back the way of the Flyers. They're in white and blue, the Panthers in black and gold. Crowd continuing to grow, more and more fans coming into the building as we build up towards the grand final at 4 p.m. Remember, we're going to be live on the BBC across connected TVs, the BBC Sport app, the BBC website, the shot over the top from Gauthier. We begin our build-up at 3:40, with face-off scheduled for 4 p.m. Mascot's doing a great job here this weekend, entertaining the crowd during the intermission and during the game itself. So here come the Fife into the offensive zone. Puck with Charlie Mosey. Goes back to the blue line. And it just hops over, so they'll have to come back out and reorganise themselves. Here is Sauvé, and I'm pleased to say that back alongside me is Pete Spencer. Welcome back, Pete.
Good to be back. Just been having a little trip around rink level, see which coaches have arrived. Obviously, preparations gathering and building now towards that 4 o'clock playoff grand final.
Also want to clear up something that we were mentioning at the start of this broadcast regarding the Continental Cup places. Mokshansev goes all the way around, but backhands over the top and out of play. We mentioned that if the Cardiff Devils win the playoffs, they can't take up their position in the Continental Cup because they've already qualified for the Champions Hockey League. Now, I quoted the official Elite League media guide for this weekend, which says that that place would therefore go to the next placed league team, which is Manchester. Well, there is some confusion from some fans thinking that it should be the Belfast Giants as winners of the Challenge Cup. We're trying to get that confirmed. We've asked for an official answer from the Elite League, so when we get that, we'll bring it to you. So I know there's a lot of interest to Belfast and Manchester fans. So okay, we're just going with the information that has been provided to us here. And if we hear anything different, we will, of course, let you know. Stumble from the referee draws the biggest cheer in the third period so far. Phillips finds the glove of Marr. We've said that a lot of times in this game. He does have a really good glove hand, Jordan Marr.
Just looking for that hat-trick, Zach Phillips. 2 goals, 1 in the first, 1 in the second. Looking for 1 in the third, just to pad out those stats a little bit.
A few fans around the building just hoping for any goals, really, to be entertained. There are some who I know will have had a small wager on the number of goals scored, either in total or by the different teams. Tetlow gets it behind the net, it comes back out front, there's a chance to lift it in, and Betteridge does just that.
So 2 for Ollie Betteridge, 2 for Zach Phillips. And another one to add to the highlight reel for Ollie Betteridge. Lovely pickup, lovely goal.
42-24 the time of the goal. On now to 7 for the season.
Good awareness.
Yeah, just move it across, wait for the keeper to commit. And as Marr goes down, the puck goes up and into the back of the net. Goal 9 of the game. Panthers extend their lead to 7-2.
And so often when you go to those right areas, the top of the crease, crashing the net hard, you get that slice of luck. The puck takes a deflection as it did then off the pipes. Jordan Marr just tried to gather it in, it came back off the pipes and then sprung free to Betteridge. And so often if you go to those areas, good things happen, as coaches say.
Here's Moyer. Sure, Fife still have a little bit left in the tank. It's been a tiring playoff run for them. They are short bench. They're missing this weekend Young and Bludoff. Bludoff in particular a really big miss given the points that he's put up, but also not having Young available on the back end. He was their top scoring defenseman this season.
Well, not having Bludoff is the difference between having 3 lines and having 2.5 lines really for Fife, and that's what's led to or accentuated the fatigue that they've had in their games against Cardiff, and obviously this game here today, even though it's not been played at a furious pace, it still takes you in.
Gagnon driving forward. He's not a regular goal scorer by any means. David Clark certainly is, but there's a crowd around him. Comes back out to Pither. Gagnon has managed just 2 this season.
Finucci with a lovely lift there.
And then draws the blocker save from Gospel. He's been really impressive since he's come in. Stockton just left the puck behind. And here comes Pellini. Panthers fans just getting a little bit louder down below us. Trying to inspire their team to a few more goals. Clap them home to victory here in this third place game. Although we have seen teams score 5 unanswered in this fixture before. Pass just out of the reach of Finucci. Sent across to the far side. They'll look for a tip again from Stockton. It's past him, but it will stay in the zone. Jorgensen makes sure of that. Mosey, he's carried it beyond the blue line. All his teammates will have to come out of the offensive zone before they can go back in. Here goes Finucci across to Wands. Back across. Save is made. Back out into the crease, and there is Sam Gospel tied against the post. And the pad was down to make sure it didn't slide underneath. And we've played all but 5 minutes here of the third period. Here's Robert Farmer. Sauvé. Just trying to drag it in front. Bussières couldn't manage it first time. He will keep hold of it behind the net. Although that's good defensive work. Putting him under pressure by Isaacs. Still with the Panthers. Can they bring it out for a shooting opportunity? Not quite at the moment. Sauvé. Oh, he fired it towards Bussières and it went past him and went past Lee and goes all the way back to the Panthers' own end of the ice. Here's Betteridge. Angles tight and it's straight into the chest of Marr. Hoping for a rebound, but the netminder wasn't going to let that one come off. You can still see, we were talking about helmets earlier, you can still see that he's got his Hull Pirates helmet from last season. The Pirate with the lime green bandana on top of the skull. Here comes Gauthier. Moves it inside. Doesn't come to much. Kelsall forces his way down the boards. Here comes Shaber. Trying to get it across towards Moyer. Thought about throwing it on goal backhanded, that didn't work, and then it skips past Muir. Bit of banter flying around in the stands at the moment between the Braehead fans and the Fife fans. And that brings the Nottingham crowd to life, and that brings the Steelers to life. Fans are making their own entertainment while we wait for another goal in this game. 7-2, Nottingham lead it. Here's DeLego. Doesn't have a lot of help with him at the moment. Jorgensen, scorer for the Flyers in this game. It's the team moving forward, but they're happy to gain the red line and dump the puck in, get a line change out there. Here's Pellini. Oh, he tried to play it to Gagnon, he just overskated it. Mokshansev wins it back and gets a save. Jorgensen across. Taken into the zone by Mosey. Jorgensen has carried on. Looked for a tip. The pass was too far in front of him. Finucci. Under pressure from a couple. It'll come back to Jorgensen. Sent towards goal. Finucci takes it. Oh, he tried to play it between the legs. And Gospel reached out and made the save. Pulling out all the tricks. He just couldn't quite get any lift on it. Really nice attempt from Carlo Finucci. See what he was trying to do. Here's Healis. Couple with him in the corner. It's Evan Mosey who takes the puck from him. And now Phillips. Looking for the hat-trick. Oh, really good blocker save from Marr. The puck goes up and out of play. Zach Phillips is really up for this one today. Sometimes you get the odd player that just goes through the motions on a third-place game, particularly as the game winds down, but Zach Phillips still playing with real intensity down there. Bussières back to Phillips. Oh, nice between the legs pass from Farmer to Bussières. Tetlow. Slide back around. Panthers timing the offensive zone. Trying to work it away from the perimeter in towards the slot or the top of the crease. Tetlow's shot is blocked up to way to the corner. Takes a deflection off a Fife stick and comes near side. Here's Mosey. Betteridge. Shot goes over the top. There's another player searching for a hat-trick, and that one has caught the Fife bench. And so it'll stop the Flyers in their tracks. Okay, now we have had official confirmation from the Elite League regarding the Continental Cup place and where it would go if, repeat, if Cardiff were to win this afternoon's final. If Sheffield win the final, then Sheffield will take the Continental Cup spot. If it is the Cardiff Devils who win the playoff final, the Continental Cup spot will go to the Belfast Giants as winners of the Challenge Cup trophy. This was the rule that was also in place last year, but because Cardiff had also won the Challenge Cup, it would then have gone to the next place league team. But we can confirm that if Cardiff win the playoff final, then the Continental Cup spot will go to the Challenge Cup winners, which will be the Belfast Giants. So apologies for the error that we read to you earlier from the Elite League media guide. We have had confirmation from the people in the know that that will not be the case. It will be the Belfast Giants fans who get a European trip if the Cardiff Devils can do them a favour in the grand final this afternoon. So glad to be able to clear that up for you and bring you an official answer. Flyers looking for a goal here, working it down low behind the net of Gospel. Oh, it's a nice little attempt on the backhand from Gauthier as he played it to himself off the net. Shaber. Sauvé is quickly in and knocks the puck away. Here's Delego. Delego moves it across. Oh, there was the moment for Clark, and Mosey got back in. He might get another go. David Clark! Oh, the save is made by Marr. It's another good one with that glove hand. Pither. Still trying to get it towards Clark. He was attacking the crease, but just twisted around. Tetlow shoots, and it's swallowed in by Marr. Another shift goes by for David Clark. They want him to get that goal. Fans want it. But Marr isn't in the mood to give up any free ones. Shantsev. Angles tight. Off the netminder and the side of the goal. And the Flyers spring a bit of life into this one on the breakaway. Option near side is Finucci. Oh, and he's just left the puck behind, and that could leave a counter going back the other way for Nottingham. 3-on-2 as Brown leads them forward in towards Perlini. Tried to return it to Brown. The Flyers break it up. And they'll switch it to centre ice. Stockton to Finucci. Back with Stockton. Tries to drag it around Tetlow. Brown takes a chop at it, still with the Flyers. Here's Wands. Looking for the pass across the crease. Doesn't quite find Stockton. Finucci brings it in front. Space is rapidly closed down though. Wands steps onto it. Doesn't have a goal yet this season, Wands. He'd like one here. Turn provider, the pass onto the back of the net. Falls for Perlini, and he just drops it off as the Flyers retreat. Defensemen are going to go for a change. And the Flyers venture into the offensive zone. Saw plenty of possession, but no real meaningful shots on goal on Gospel. And any fans who are hoping for a double-figure goal total today continue to sweat. Here's Healis. In towards LeBlanc. That one deflects up in the air and lands just at the side of the goal. It was played with a high stick. So it'll be whistled dead and the face-off in the offensive zone for the Flyers. 7:34 remaining in the game. Flyers seeking to force the Panthers into a turnover here. Committing four checkers up high, and Shaber's got his stick in on Gagnon, making life difficult for him, but puck squirts near side and there's a bit more time for Billingsley to find Zach Phillips. Switched across far side. Sent in on goal, another save made. Angle is tight for Phillips. Might come back here for Gagnon. Oh, it does, and it's another good save. Touch of glove and pad, taking it around the post from Mark. Straight into the play was Betteridge off the bench. He's got 2 in this game. He'd love to get himself a hat-trick goal. And the Panthers fans down below ramp up the noise once more. Panthers fans chanting Corey Nielsen's name. Hasn't yet announced where his next stop will be. I'm sure he'll be a coach in demand. He's only 41 years old. Winner of 5 previous playoff finals, one of them as a player. He's also won 3 as player coach, and then 1 when he was purely behind the bench in 2016, the most recent Panthers victory in this competition. Betteridge driving through. And there are some fans from other Elite League teams joining in with the Corey Nielsen chant, and that's really good to see. Recognition to great servant to the Panthers and to British ice hockey in general. He's been part of the GB coaching setup when the men's national team won their gold medal last year over in Belfast. He was assistant to Pete Russell. And yesterday, Corey Nielsen's son Cade, as we mentioned earlier, winning gold with GB under-18s. Here comes Gauthier, stick handling inside, trying to go past Tetlow. Lee stays with him. Invites Stockton into the play, and the pass was intercepted by DeLego. It was intended for Charlie Mosey. Five minutes on the clock in this third place game. So with 5 minutes to go, the clock will stop and the whole arena will rise to acclaim a great servant of the Nottingham Panthers and of great British ice hockey, David Clarke. Rarely does a player combine performance on the ice with such grace and humility. David Clarke is one of British hockey's greats. He's made the Panthers fans feel glad all over so many times. Does he still have a moment left in this one? Standing ovation from fans of all 12 teams. No other Nottingham Panthers player will wear that number 5 shirt again. It'll join Corey Nielsen's 77 and the other retired shirts of Panthers legends here at the Motorpoint Arena. Stockton, Finucci, saved again by Gospel. He's been superb since he's come into this game. Panthers will get the opportunity to break out here, and leading the charge is Polini. Oh, really good back checking. That was great work from Isaacs. Showed the closing speed to knock the puck away. Finucci trying to get it across. It's kicked up in the air by Mokshantsev. Clark is straight back out on the ice, and he intercepts, and he breaks away. Here we go, David Clark, go on! Oh no, it's not to be. Oh wow. Great reaction from the crowd. They're so frustrated. It might be Clark now. No, it's Marr. Oh, it was the breakaway. It was perfect. It just had to be. Jordan Marr is in no mood for a fairy tale ending. They're not going to let David Clark go back to the bench. They're going to keep him out. I reckon that shot that was saved by Jordan Marr is not going to be the last shot that David Clark has in this game. He poke checks that one away. Jordan Marr wants no part of this David Clark loving. That one is offside against the Flyers. Not sure the Flyers defensemen were as desperate to get that puck cleared as they might otherwise have been. Jordan Marr certainly was. He did the poke check, nudging that puck free. Here goes Clark. Winds and fires. Oh, it's Marr again. He's going to be the least popular player all weekend if he keeps this up. That slap shot from David Clark has been so successful so many times. Albert Farmer just directing traffic, telling Clark to lurk back for the one-timer off the face-off. Here we go. David Clark. Oh, this one's off target. It's going to happen. It has to happen. It might just take a little bit longer. Meanwhile, Coryell with the speed burst. Drop back for Beattie, and he slid that one wide. And still we wait for this 10th goal. Pither. It's surely going to go to Clark. It does. Clark. He's going to try the wraparound. He might try the backhand. Oh, and it's been headed away. Oh, goodness me. The one-on-one battle between Clark and Marr is quite something. Marr's won every round so far. But is Clark going to deliver the knockout blow? Clark, surely this time. It just had to be. And no more deserving scorer. And no more deserving bench clearing celebration. A great man of British hockey with one final goal to celebrate. And all the Panthers are on there to celebrate with him. The Flyers have cleared the ice to give him his moment. And look at the relief on his face. Panthers were trying to carry him off the ice. Not sure Canyon and Sauvé were quite as sturdy on the skates as they needed to be. (57-18), an even strength goal scored by number 5, David Clark. 12 on the season. 371 goals now in his Elite League career. Gospel makes another save. Clark unassisted. And that's the moment that I think a lot of people came here this morning for. Had a few goes at it. It took him a while, but was never going to be denied in the end. And now it's Corey Nielsen's name who The Panthers fans are chanting. Here's Mosey for the Flyers. Haven't been able to find a way to get onto the scoreboard in this third period. Finucci blocked that shot himself and couldn't settle it down. Here goes Brown. Knocked down by Pellini. Legally, the stick wasn't too high. The game has noticeably slowed now. Oh, and intercepted by Evan Mosey. He's got a clean run on goal. Evan Mosey, oh, he tried to go backhand and slide it 5-hole. And it was another good stop by Marr. He's been so impressive. Music starts while the play continues. The play does carry on over on the far side. Phillips still seeking a hat-trick goal. Back to Bussières. And back to Mosey. What about the slap shot? Decided against it. In the end, never did get it through to net. Finucci out of the zone. Inside the final minute. Zach Phillips. Can't fight through the traffic. Schoon gets the Flyers moving forward. A couple of shifts yesterday in the third period and a bit more ice time again now. Here goes Russ Moyer, backhand attempt. Gospel makes the save, the puck stays alive. And the Panthers fans are rising to their feet. David Clark back out for one final shift. Sauvé. Kelsall went towards the net, Sauvé holds on. Clark waits, oh, the puck just goes by him. Inside, Sauvé. Are they going to give it to Clark one more time? Sauvé. I think they are, you know. Here we go. David Clark one more time and one more Marr save to finish it off. The Panthers win by 8-2. And it is a victory to finish for Corey Nielsen. What a run he has had as a player coach, and finally a coach of this Nottingham Panthers squad. It's not quite the stage you would like to have bowed out in, but it is a winning end nonetheless by 8-2. The handshake line will follow. We'll stay with you here on Facebook, on the Elite League's official page for the Man of the Match presentations. I'm sure it's going to be emotional. Handshakes between the two coaching teams. Still no wins at finals weekend for the Fife Flyers. Lost both games in 14, 16 and now 18.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, if we could just pause for one moment, please. Obviously, this is a league with 12 teams competing. It's been a rather special occasion, obviously, with David Clark leaving us. But I'd like everybody here, please, to show the appreciation not only for the Fife Flyers for being part of that celebration, but obviously the fans of the Fife Flyers who showed their respect, as did everybody here today. Thank you so much indeed.
Fife fans have been excellent all weekend. In fact, the fans of all 12 teams really make this occasion so special. Fife can go and build for next season with the Gardner Conference Trophy already in the cabinet. It will be a trophyless season for the Nottingham Panthers, but they had their moment of glory in the Champions Hockey League. They won their group, made it through to the round of 16. They won on the road, they had a shutout victory. Feats not yet matched by any other Elite League side. Masterminded by Corey Nielsen and executed by his team. They have had their moments. So the handshakes are all completed now. We'll wait for the man of the match announcements.
but their man of the match today, wearing shirt number 19, it's Jim Jorgensen.
Jim Jorgensen gets the Fife Flyers man of the match. He scored an equalising goal at 7:01. Special shout out also to the performance of Jordan Marr, who was outstanding in the game. I think eventually he just had to let David Clark score past him, but he denied him many other times, and several other Panthers players throughout this game with a string of wonderful stops. And the Flyers can skate around now and accept the applause of their opponents, the Nottingham Panthers, who graciously tap their sticks on the ice, but also the entire arena, who stands and applauds the efforts of the 2017-18 Gardner Conference champions, Fife Flyers.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, before we go any further, there is also one other person we would like to acknowledge here today in our sport. He has spent 12 years as Panthers head coach with a league title, 6 Challenge Cups, 4 playoff championships, and 1 Continental Cup. Please show your appreciation for Corey Nielsen.
Great ovation for Corey Nielsen. 1 league title, 6 Challenge Cups, 4 playoffs, and a Continental Cup. The most successful coach in Panthers history. Heartbroken by defeat yesterday. Hopefully he'll be able to raise a smile today.
The man of the match will be handed over by Neil Black and Corey Nielsen today. Ladies and gentlemen, the man of the match for the Nottingham Panthers has to be David. Can't hear you, David!
David Clark is man of the match. Of course he is. It just had to be. Special moments and special memories for Corey Nielsen and David Clark. They've given the Panthers fans so many over the years, but this is their moment in the spotlight in front of the entire Elite League, and boy do they deserve it. Even a standing ovation from the Steelers fans, who he's denied on so many occasions. Shows the respect that there is for Corey Nielsen and the job that he has done with this hockey club. He has had his shirt retired, the 77. Hangs up here at the Motor Points Arena. David Clark's Fife shirt will do so soon. The Nottingham Panthers will skate around the rink one final time and say thank you to their fans. Goodbye to the rest of their Elite League supporters. And with that, we are going to draw our broadcast to a close. But before we go, a reminder of how you can watch today's Predict-A-Bet Grand Final between the Cardiff Devils and the Sheffield Steelers. It is live on the BBC Sport website and the BBC Sport app. It is also available through connected TVs. Our show will begin at 3:40 p.m. with face-off expected at 4 p.m. David Clark waves us all goodbye. The final score here in the third, fourth place playoff, the Nottingham Panthers 8, Fife Flyers 2.
ladies and gentlemen, the award winners of the Kings of Elite League playoffs roll like this. Representing the Manchester Storm, the top point scorer was Mike Hammond. With a two-guy tie, top goal scorer, it is Mark Olivier Varand from the Coventry Blaze, and Luke Moffat sharing the credentials of Manchester Storm. That's the top goal scorers, whilst the forward of the year will be featuring in the next game. It's Joey Martin of the Cardiff Devils. The defenseman of the year will be facing off against the Steelers. It's Andrew Hotham from the Cardiff Devils. Whilst the netminder of the year is at a busy one, it's Ben Bounds of the Cardiff Devils.